You probably remember what's about to happen. We're in Ann Arbor, Michigan for week 1 of the 2007 season. The Wolverines are looking for their second comeback of the game with a 37-yard field goal to win it against Appalachian State. The Mountaineers are on the verge of a historic upset, but with just 6 seconds left, it all comes down to one play. This moment is about to wipe out everything that got us to this point and made it matter. So let's rewind. With 109,000 plus watching in the Big House, Michigan didn't expect to be in this situation. Coming into the season, they were ranked number 5 in the AP and coaches poll and were expected to be in the national championship conversation come December. Jake Long, Chad Henne, and Mike Hart all returned for their senior seasons, motivated by the fact that they had yet to win a bowl game and hadn't beat rival Ohio State since their freshman year. They came close in a game of the century matchup the year before, but the 3-point loss derailed their national title hopes. They finished 2006 11-2, but Michigan lost 9 starters on a defense led by Leon Hall and Lamar Woodley that gave up less than 45 yards rushing per game. 4 of those starters were drafted in the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft, including another All-American, Alan Branch. So if they were going to live up to their potential, then the offense would need to do some heavy lifting. And on the opening drive against Appalachian State, they looked up to the challenge. Mike Hart had 4 carries for 46 yards and capped off the 6-play drive with this touchdown. As advertised, it looked to be a blowout. Vegas expected the game to be so one-sided that it wasn't given a line. And as Carissa Thompson noted,
when Michigan found out they were playing Appalachian State, everyone's like, who's Appalachian State?
Michigan didn't seem to know much about the team they were supposed to easily beat. At the start of the game, most FBS fans didn't have reason to be aware of App State. But now that they've put up 34 points at Michigan, they have our attention. Hailing from Boone, North Carolina, the Appalachian State Mountaineers hadn't been afraid of taking on D1 FBS teams. As an FCS school, though, that usually meant they took a beating, collected a check, and moved on. They had a 6-34-1 all-time record against major FBS schools, and all of the victories came against in-state rival Wake Forest. In 2004, App State changed things up when Jerry Moore, then coaching his 16th season for the Mountaineers, installed a spread offense. The move would pay off a year later when they won the school's first ever national championship. They followed that up with another title in 2006, and in February, when Coach Moore and his buddy Lloyd Carr realized both schools had openings in their schedules, they made the date. Michigan would play host, and App State would get $400,000. And once Appalachian State was here, they weren't just going to collect the check. On their first drive of the game, Armonte Edwards connected with Dexter Jackson on this short slant route for a 68-yard touchdown.
And going all the way to the end zone, the speedster Dexter Jackson.
They continued to spread it out and turn slants into scores. One for 9 yards, another for 20.
Quick slant is Jackson. He'll run away from everybody. Touchdown, Appalachian State.
Before Edwards ran it in from 6 yards out to build an 11-point halftime lead. And while watching your team fall behind to a small school is never much fun, thanks to these 2 words on the screen, a lot of Michigan fans had to make an effort just to see the game. That's because this was the first game broadcasted on the brand new Big Ten network, which was far from perfect. Despite being announced in June of 2006, when it finally launched over a year later, the network wasn't carried by all cable providers, specifically Comcast and Charter, 2 of the main options in the state of Michigan. So while some of Comcast's 5 million Michigan subscribers cursed the provider leading up to the game and DirecTV used it as a marketing opportunity, it may have been a blessing for Wolverine fans to miss this performance. But we're here, and Michigan has a chance to win it, so clearly they got it together. The comeback, and partially why they were down in the first place, was thanks to the senior Mike Hart. After finishing 5th a year ago in Heisman voting, he was expected to carry a large load for Michigan. But he couldn't exactly do that from an exercise bike on the sideline. A few minutes into the second quarter, Hart suffered a thigh injury that forced him out for nearly 2 quarters, and the Michigan offense could only manage a pair of field goals without him. Hart re-entered the game with under 5 to play in the third, and carried the ball 13 times for 131 yards and 2 scores. That included this 54-yarder which put Michigan on top, and gave him 3 on the day.
Punch it back the other way. Hart to the 10, to the 5, touchdown!
The trouble was, chasing points can lead to tough decisions. Hart's second touchdown of the day got Michigan within 5, so in hopes of being able to kick a field goal to tie, they went for 2, which Henne failed to convert. On Hart's next score, Michigan again passed on the extra point, so an App State field goal would only tie the game. This time, Minor was stuffed on the rushing attempt. Michigan was up by just 1, and Sunday morning quarterbacks had something to scream about. The plus side for Michigan was their defense had stepped up in the second half. I guess until they let App State get back on top. Michigan's inexperienced defense had made some adjustments that paid off greatly. They began playing more cover 2 to keep their linebackers from getting pulled away from the line of scrimmage, and with their size advantage, used mainly a 4-man front to stop the Mountaineers' running attack. After giving up 28 points in the first half, they picked off Edwards to start the third quarter, and only gave up 73 yards on App State's first 8 drives of the half. On their 9th possession though, with under 2 to play, the Mountaineers covered 69 yards in 7 plays to make it first and goal with 30 seconds left. But with no timeouts, App State decided to play it safe and kick the field goal, trusting their defense to not let Michigan drive the length of the field in 26 seconds with only 1 timeout. Coach Moore's gamble didn't pay off though. After being held to just 2 catches for 20 yards, Mario Manningham hauled in this 46-yard pass from Henne, setting Michigan up for a 37-yard field goal attempt. And that's where we are now. But tonight's been a bit of a mixed bag for kicker Jason Gingell. Back in the second quarter, just 23 seconds until halftime, Michigan's senior kicker took the field. On top of the defensive replacements, the Wolverines were also missing 4-year starter and Michigan's all-time leading scorer, Garrett Rivas. Gingell joined the team in 2004 as an undersized linebacker, before moving to kicker where he was only needed for a single extra point coming into 2007. After being pegged for field goal duties 1 week before the game, Michigan's offense helped him with his first kick by stalling out at the 5, giving him a 22-yard attempt. He would tack on a 42-yarder at the start of the third, and with 1:47 left in the game, had the chance to put the Wolverines up 4 on this 43-yard attempt.
Lesko the holder, Gingell the kicker, and that is blocked at the line of scrimmage.
But Michigan's offense would give Gingell one more chance to put the game away. And here we are, a small school looking to shock the big house. Michigan's leaders having come back with the hopes of a national championship. A senior kicker trying to move past his attempt from just moments ago, and one play to decide it all. Welcome to a moment in history.
Good snap, good hold, and the kick is blocked! Appalachian State has stunned the college football world, one of the greatest upsets in sports history.
Thanks for watching the first video ever made about this game. If you made it this far, may I suggest this video about if Tim Tebow had committed to Alabama? Or here's another reminder for you. As always, please subscribe and we'll see you soon.